You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Solimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart, and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. Well, if you listen to the episodes about what happens when you buy a house, this is the episode before that episode of how to make an offer to the agent. Hello, Megan.
Hello. We're doing things out of order today.
Yes, that's okay. It gets people excited and curious. So how do people make an offer to the agent?
Okay. So first of all, it's funny, the old school buyers used to go through houses with a blank face and say negative things about the house to throw the agent off the scent of their interest, right? But buyers these days realize that we're actually kind of trying to help them. Like there's a house, we're trying to help sell it and they want to buy. So it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is say to the agent, I like this house. And we would encourage you to say that. You don't have to tell us your maximum price. You just say, I like this house. I'd like to know if somebody makes an offer. Then if you decide to buy it, contact us. Like we can make it as easy as possible. So as soon as somebody says to me, and they might be at the open home or they might be, during a phone call afterwards, or they might just ring me randomly and say, I would like to make an offer on XYZ house. And I say to them, I need 5 things from you. And I'll send you a text with them written down because I know that, I'm pretty detail orientated, but it's nice to have it in a little list. So we need to know their legal names that they'd like to buy under. So it could be their actual names, it could be a trust, it could be a business name, whatever they want on the contract. So if they're, like their proper names, not their nicknames or their shortened John.
Yeah. So it can't be Mickey Mouse, has to be Michael Mouse.
Yeah, not Jonathan sort of thing. Yeah. So the legal names, the amount that they'd like to pay for their deposit, and we usually ask them if they're using KiwiSaver at that point as well, because there's a few little extra tweaks that we can make to the contract. A settlement date. Now, this is the ideal settlement date. Obviously, if it doesn't suit the vendors, they can negotiate on that, or we can say, hey, the vendors would prefer this date if you can manage it. So we try and give them a little pointer there, and it should be 2 weeks minimum to settle.
Thank you for listening to my earlier episode.
With the KiwiSaver and the, the mortgage finance and everything. And then conditions. Now, some buyers, especially if they're first home buyers, they'll be like, what conditions should I put down? Now, we can't give legal advice, but there are some classic conditions like a LIM or a builder's report. Finance is a big one. If they're using KiwiSaver, we put on a KiwiSaver condition. Sometimes we just use the finance one. Depends if they're using it for their deposit or not. So we put down on a cross-lease, we always get a title check as well. And of course, the classic, get your lawyer to check this because I'm not a legal advisor. We write up these contracts, but we always put that condition. The lawyer needs time to check this because we're human, we need to make sure that somebody qualified is checking it. And so those are the 5 things: the name, the deposit amount, the settlement date, the conditions, and the lawyer's details. What we don't ask is what price they want to pay because that's personal, right? So we get all the stuff over to them. They put on the price. We will eventually see it. It's not going to be a secret forever, but it's up to them what price they want to do. They don't have to disclose that straight up to us. And then sometimes we end up with a partnership where one's working in town, one's traveling, or they're just doing different jobs, or one's on a building site or can't get away, doesn't have access to a scanner. And they're one of those people that want to make an early offer, or they might be quite close to a deadline or an auction date, and they're kind of we need to make this work. So we have a thing called DocuSign, and it's basically an electronic signing tool, and we can put in their names and we can get all the little signatures in the right places for them to help them out. I know when we were buying our house, I made the agent stand with me while we signed all the paperwork, just because George was about to go away on a business trip. And I was like, I don't want a signature to not be there. Yeah. And for me to have to track him down in Taranaki or somewhere. So the agent witnessed all our little signature bits. And then we wrote the price on later and put it in the tender box because we bought our house by tender.
Yeah.
So, that's effectively what we do. We can turn that around within half an hour, sometimes an hour, depends on, if we've got dinner to feed our children or something. I usually do that while George feeds the kids, and we can turn it around pretty quick to get it to people. If they want to make an offer, we try and make that possible.
And I love that because that helps us to push it along with the banks, because a lot of banks may not accept an application if it doesn't contain sales and purchase agreement. And I often say to the people, it just needs to be a draft at that point. It doesn't need to be fully signed. But if there is no sales and purchase agreement or an auction pack, then the banks normally will bounce back the application and say, sorry, our pipeline is closed to any pre-approvals. We only want people that are serious about a certain property. So that really, really helps us.
Oh, that's good. It's always nice when we can make your job easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do agents charge for that?
No. Gosh, no. I used to work in a bank, so I'm familiar with it. But yeah, I just do it for the love of it and to make it easier for people. But that's why I always put that condition on that the lawyer has to check it, because we just want to make sure it's perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like that, because a lot of clients rack up heaps of legal bills because the first property may not be the one that they will buy.
Yeah.
Because they might have missed out on the offer or whatever. So often we find that the third property may be the one they buy. But if they continue to go back and forth with the lawyers about the sales and purchase agreement, that's $2,000 per contract sometimes. So
yeah. It depends on the fee structure, doesn't it? Because some lawyers do a first-time buyers pack where they're like, okay, you can send me unlimited amounts of contracts, and others charge per
I want to know who
contract.
those lawyers are.
Well, I'm going back to when I was a first-time buyer, so it might have changed.
I'll break your heart. It's no longer a thing.
Oh, no, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah. I did try to reach out to a few lawyers about it, because we did have a fantastic lawyer that we had that with, but unfortunately that lawyer's out of action at the moment. And once that lawyer's back, I think we will have it back. But for now, we just sort of stuck with those lawyers that do charge an hourly rate or whatever to check over the sales and purchase agreement. So if the agents can take the heavy lifting out of it, and that reduces the time the lawyer spends on that, that's a win-win.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much an admin job. Creating the contract. It's the expert job is reviewing the contract. Correct. I guess it's quite nice as well. We say to people, hey, like, let's put a contract together, because they're like, oh, can you just ask the homeowner if they'll take this? We don't see that as a valid offer. If we're going to present an offer, we'll present any offer in writing to a vendor. Yeah. So we may as well test out the price first and then do the due diligence and try and save them some fees. But yeah. It's just, we enjoy that, It just helps people out a little.
Love that. Thank you so much, Megan. Really appreciate your time today. This has been very, very useful.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. I'm glad to help.
See you later.
Thanks.
And that's a wrap on That Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.